All right, guys. Warcraft's, I think ads are over. Warcraft's new Master Manipulator from Platinum WoW. This video is actually from 4 months ago, and I somehow missed it, but multiple of you have told me to watch this. I don't even know what it's about, but the title's pretty good. The title makes me want to watch the video, so, I mean, we might as well. Lamer, thanks for the prime, and without further ado, let's get into it.
At BlizzCon 2023, the new WoW expansion, War Within, was announced. And with it, they revealed that the character Xal'atath
Gotta watch it in 4K, I mean...
would be playing a large role within the narrative.
They will be led by someone we were first introduced to in Legion. Xal'atath, a harbinger of the void.
Everyone's like, who? I played a Shadow Priest in Legion, so like that quest line was pretty cool, and the weapon was also really cool. But yeah, the whole crowd's just like, who?
Who the fuck is that? If you haven't been deeply in tune with Warcraft's narrative over the past 8 years, you will have no idea who this character is that has been built up since the Legion expansion. Hell, even if you've been playing the game since then...
See, that's tough, though. That's tough, though. This is one of the things I've talked about in the past. It's like, when TBC came out, it's like, we're fighting Illidan. Like, everyone's like, oh! And then, Wrath comes out, and it's like, Arthas. Like, oh! You know? Lich King. Like, everyone gets it. It's not a good thing when it's like, alright, Xal'atath, and everyone's just like... Who? Like that's not good. Like, I can't overstate that. That's not like having this unifying thing that players come together and all understand is a really important thing, right?
Getting the full grasp of this character's story is difficult for most players, but in order to understand the full scope of her influence, you'll need to learn about the alarming amount of events this rogue servant of the old gods has took part in Warcraft's history. The history of this mysterious entity dates back to the Black Empire of the old gods. Xal'atath is a sentient blade whose exact origins are unknown. She is trapped within the weapon, and some of the more outlandish claims say that the dagger was crafted from the claw of the old god Y'Shaarj, or she is just a forgotten old god herself.
They will pay for what was done to me long ago.
The Black Empire would ultimately be crushed by the Titan Forged and their constructs, but Xal'atath eluded their imprisonment and began to influence the history of Azeroth in rather clever ways.
I long for the day our masters can truly pass into this realm.
The first event she influenced was in the ancient city of Zandalar. Within the troll capital of the world, Xando, a Gurabashi witch doctor, felt slighted after being outperformed by his rivals. Yeah.
This one shows promise.
That is when Xal'atath materialized, promising the meddling witch doctor indescribable power to outshine his foes. You see, Zandalar was almost a perfect environment for the trolls. They had everything.
I spent so much time jumping from here to here, back to here to here, back from here to here, back from here to here. Yeah, while queuing arenas. Yep, and farming rank 1s. Okay, there we go.
Lush jungles, plentiful food, dinosaurs, god dinosaurs, and the trolls were by far the biggest superpower on Azeroth. But there was just one place they could not go to. It was a large black mound of stone that no one was permitted to travel to because of its bad vibes. Obviously, Xal'atath convinced Xando to travel there.
Watch now, as a weak mind gives way to darkness.
Oh yeah, she also convinced him to sacrifice his followers there in a blood ritual, and, oh yeah, also drive the blade deep into the stone.
The sword in the stone, baby.
Turns out, it wasn't just a big black stone. It was an ancient old god monster called Kithix.
I don't remember
this. And this event marked the beginning of the Aegir and Troll War. This Apple of Eden type of scenario is one of my favorite parts of Xal'atath's lore, and the dagger's influence would spark a series of events, like the trolls chasing the Aegir across Azeroth, some of them turning
cool.
into night elves, and eventually blowing up the whole world.
Such arrogance, even for a long-lived elf.
Dude, I've got to say, this is one of my favorite weapons in the game. Like, I didn't really like many of the artifacts. I didn't use them for most of the classes that I played. But on my Shadow Priest, like, I just loved using this. Like, the shape of it, the RP behind it. Like, it was just cool. I just always thought it was really, really cool. And, like, in most of the recolors, too.
Now, did Xal'atath know that was going to happen? Probably not, but there was clear intentions to the chaos she caused. There is mention of Xal'atath being in the possession of the Naga for some time after the Great Sundering, but the details of this moment in history are currently unknown.
It took ages to make my return to the surface after the Sundering. The Naga can be so possessive of artifacts.
The next moment in history Xal'atath appeared, she helped by sending us into space to introduce us to today's sponsor. And oh my goodness, is that the
Well done, well done.
USS Enterprise? Star Trek Fleet Command is an award-winning MMO where you get to explore the vast expanse of space with the most iconic characters from all of Star Trek's amazing franchises. In this free-to-play experience available on mobile and PC devices, you'll explore an open world participating in epic space battles with players all around the world where you have to put your strategy to the test. Star Trek Fleet Command is constantly being updated, and in December, they're introducing a new wave defense mode, new missions, and my personal favorite addition, new characters like Luther, Sloane, Riker, and Diana. Now is the perfect time to become the commander of your own starship and jump into the game by scanning the QR code on your screen or clicking the link in the description down below. Once in-game, use the promo code WARPSPEED for bonus in-game items. Thank you, Star Trek Fleet Command, for sponsoring this video. Back to your regularly scheduled content. The next moment in history Xal'atath materialized was thousands of years later, specifically 230 years before the Dark Portal. At this moment in time in the Eastern Kingdoms, the tensions between the three dwarven clans was high, as they fought over who would be the ruler of Ironforge. The Dark Iron Clan was currently dwelling within the kingdom of Tharazan, led by sorcerer Thane Tharazan and Empress Modgood. Modgood had a penchant for rare artifacts, and had employed multiple treasure hunters to retrieve such prizes. One day, a dark iron dwarf handed her a mysterious cursed weapon named Xal'atath. The Empress spent several days locked in her chambers to discern the secrets of the weapon. After a few days, she left to go search for the treasure hunter who had given the weapon to her to ask some questions. But that is when she realized no one could find him, no one could remember his name, or even his face. Jump forward to the War of the Three Hammers, and Modgood uses the weapon in her assault of Grim Batol. The weapon cursed the city, unleashing dark apparitions on their foes and corrupting the dwarven fortress and her own soldiers. The Dark Iron Dwarves most affected by this curse turned into the Skarden, animalistic cursed dwarves who run on all fours, can climb walls, have sharp teeth, scales, and stinky breath. Now, these creatures have never been seen in-game and were originally supposed to be added in the Grim Patol dungeon in Cataclysm, but were later replaced by Trogs. Still, there are a few items suggesting that they still exist in the universe, so perhaps we'll see them return in the War Within expansion. Back to Grim Patol, Kadros Wildhammer and his clan fought their way through the Cursed City, heading straight towards Modgood and confronting her personally. But when they reached her, Modgood reached for the Cursed Blade, only to have it vanish from existence, sealing the Empress's fate.
Jeez.
After Modgood and the Dark Iron's defeat, the remaining few fled, and in a desperate attempt to win the war, Sorcerer Thane Tharazan summoned Ragnaros and horribly underestimated the Fire Lord's power as he destroyed the city of Tharazan, created the Black Rock Mountain, killed the lead sorcerer, and enslaved the rest of the Dark Irons.
Oh my gosh, okay, that explains a lot.
Ragnaros was also under the influence of the Old Gods. So again, was this all a part of Xal'atath's plan to spread the power of the Void?
Dude, this is still such a badass boss. Like, still, 2024, look at that. Like, look at that, man. It's still, like, Rag is still cool, dude.
Across Azeroth? Maybe, I don't know. The next time in recorded history Xal'atath materialized was 230 years later when the Dark Portal opened. While the humans attempted to push back the rampaging orcs, they studied the strange dark magics their warlocks possessed. A human priest named Natalie Celine heard rumors that the orcs had a powerful forbidden blade and sought out the weapon. During this investigation, she would eventually find the weapon and...
The caterpillar has become the butterfly.
Oh.
She is all but ours now.
Immediately after touching Xal'atath, Natalie came to the conclusion...
Look at those eyes, man. She's going crazy.
...that this was just far too powerful to be destroyed, and that she should keep it.
Oh.
You know, just...
Like Lord of the Rings, dude.
It's like, just study it, that's all, just study. Through the blade, Natalie was one of the first humans to learn how to wield the powers of the Void. And by the Second War, the priestess was using the weapon against the Horde invaders, and teaching its power to her loyal followers. And while the Void is powerful, its corruption can also be all-consuming, and Natalie entirely forsook the powers of the light and fully enveloped herself in shadow. Her followers were led down the same dark path, and in their insanity, they believed that Natalie was hiding the blade's true power from them. Her followers killed the priestess in her sleep and stole Xal'atath, never to be seen again. But plot twist. Natalie actually pulled her spirit into the Void before she died, and years later her teachings of the Void would be discovered by the Forsaken, who started the cult of Forgotten Shadows. And they would later resurrect Natalie in the Legion expansion. But again, did Xal'atath plan for all this? Did she plan to fall into the hands of Natalie, teaching the humans the true power of the Void and spreading its corruption? Again, maybe. I don't know.
I like how he's making the video. He's like, I don't know, man.
Legion? That is the next time Xal'atath appeared, when Shadow Priests are sent to Tyr's Glades to obtain their artifact weapon. They are specifically sent to the Tomb of Tyr and slay a Twilight's Hammer cultist and use the blade to consume the essence of an old god minion.
Yes, the blade is right. I am unstoppable. With this weapon, I can do anything. Anything!
Oh, okay, yeah.
Weak and pitiful. The Twilight Father did not dare wield me, for he knew the price of failure. You, on the other hand, yes, I foresee us doing great things together. Take hold of my haft and I will aid you. For now.
Throughout the expansion, Shadow Priest players form a close bond with Xal'atath as they explore the Broken Isles and defeat the Legion. All the while, the Blade is whispering about the events taking place before them.
Yeah, okay.
From birth, pit lords are oversized and stupid. Somehow, the Legion manages to magnify both traits. Suramar, its noble citizens, greedily slurping at their world's very lifeblood. Really? These thugs of Sargeras are so interchangeable. This one is good with his axe. Oh, how unique. Can you taste it on the air?
Some good dialogue.
The sweet nectar of madness. Ah, this place is swollen with it.
And during this expansion, players would fall in love with the sultry talking blade, and Xal'atath would earn the name Naifu. Also Beyblade. At the end of the expansion, Sargeras stabs a giant sword into the world, and player characters drain the power of their weapons into the giant sword to stop its corruption. And lore-wise, Xal'atath is either misplaced or disappears from the player character's possession. Somehow I'm not surprised. But in the next expansion, Battle for Azeroth, players can stumble upon a questline involving Xal'atath. Now, any class can do this questline, but Shadow Priests have unique voice lines with Xal'atath during these quests.
Strength failing. I need blood. Souls.
When they first find the blade, it's off a remote island of Stormsong Valley, and they must kill mobs to restore Xal'atath's power.
I vaguely remember this somewhere in my brain, I think.
How glorious it is to be renewed. Though I haven't forgotten your callous misuse of me in Xal'atath. Such a waste of potential. It pleases me that we have a chance to spend more time together. You should know that of my many companions, you were my favorite.
Wow.
Oh, you're just saying that, aren't you?
Wow.
We will accomplish remarkable things together, you and I. Magnificent things. I realize it may be disconcerting to converse with a weapon. Be at ease. I merely wish to see you reach your full potential.
Xal'atath convinces the player to collect 3 artifacts to stop the Naga from conjuring a giant storm. This process involves killing a worshipper of the Void and possessing her.
I use these same keybinds when I play Shadow Priest. 1 for VT, 2 for Shadow Word Painted, 3 for Mind Blast, 4 for Mind Flay. Who is this?
Body so Xal'atath can take a corporeal form.
Yes. Yes! It's been so long since I took a mortal form. This body is pleasing, don't you think? I knew you were the right choice.
Whoa, whoa.
Your strength
What are we
and
watching?
courage are compelling. Once again, you prove deserving of my admiration.
She's flirting with him,
Such a
man.
worthy champion. It is no mere coincidence that our paths intersect. You are meant to find me. I was meant to find you. A grand destiny lies before us. Surely you sense it as well as I. Join me at the precipice of oblivion. There, the way will be opened. There, our path shall be revealed.
After collecting 2 other relics, Xal'atath sends players to the Shrine of Storms, where... Hey, wait. We collected these to stop the Naga, right?
Hear me, God of the Deep. I have brought you the Opener, the bringer of truths, the torch that lights the way. Honor our bargain. Free me to find my own fate.
Go. But the blade must remain.
Not the blade.
Serve my will.
A fair exchange. Shadows guide you, my dear friend. We will meet again. I am certain of it.
I have dreamed your destiny mortal. The hour is close at hand. That which was sunken shall rise.
Sheesh.
All that was sleeping shall be awakened. Receive my gift and see all truth before you.
Turns out, Xal'atath actually tricked us into collecting the relics to fully separate her soul from the blade of the Black Empire.
So she was just debating with the flirting the whole time, man.
And cursing us with the gift of N'Zoth, which
Look at
doesn't actually do anything other than a cool visual effect and some whispers of the old god infiltrating.
Cool is one way to describe an eye on your forehead. Sure.
Our mind. Later on in BFA, Xal'atath, the blade, not the lady, falls into the possession of the Horde. Then Tunathanos Blightcaller, then the Queen Azshara, then Wrathion, who then used it to defeat N'Zoth. Does that sound like a whirlwind of story? Yeah, it is, and it's far too complicated to expand upon right now. Point is, after the defeat of N'Zoth, Xal'atath, the blade, not the lady, has disappeared once again. So Xal'atath the lady and Xal'atath the blade have been lurking in the background, and finally in the new expansion, War Within, Xal'atath will be returning as one of the main...
So it like makes sense now that we know more info, but yeah, at the start, like I'm not alone in like not knowing any of this, right? Like type 1 in the chat if this was all new info, you were clueless. Type 2 in the chat if you knew this. You knew Xal'atath right when they announced it. Like, I'm glad we have this video to kind of break things down, because I'm like, I don't know, bro, you know?
Antagonists. And trust me, I'm looking forward to see her return, but I think Xal'atath also highlights a very strong weak point in WoW's storytelling. The storytelling of Xal'atath is told to players in the Legion expansion, which came out 8 years ago, and is only told to one of the 36...
8 Legion was 8 years ago, man.
Specializations in the game, and then her story is continued in the next expansion with an optional quest that can easily be missed. So you only know about the presence of Xal'atath if you are a highly specific player or you seek information about WoW lore.
Yeah, exactly.
Like watching this video.
Exactly.
Thanks for watching, by the way.
Oh, you've
At the start of the video, like someone in the chat was like, "Oh, come on, Xar, you don't know Xal'atath?" Like, bro, I'm not the only one, man. And I was a Shadow Priest of Legion, and I did the quest line, so I remember the blade, but I don't remember all the lore behind it. Okay, so now we do. It's kind of cool. I mean, it's kind of exciting. Blizzard should post this on their main channel and be like, this is what you're up against, by the way. Like, this is Xal'atath. Here we go. Guys, Platinum WoW, go show them some love. Great upload. Thanks for putting that in the reacts.